29/5/2025, measures to mitigate the risk of illegal use of the missing identity cards and steps being taken to replace the ID cards free of charge and without delay. I state as follows. The circumstances leading to the loss of over 2,000 national identity cards and the collection register from the NRB office, Honorable Chair, on the morning of 29th May 2025, officers reporting to work at the NRB office in Oljororok discovered that the office had been broken into, although there were no signs of forced entry. Preliminary investigation confirmed the loss of several crucial documents and items, a total of 984 ID cards comprising of 237 second-generation IDs and 747 Maisha cards. Issuing workbook 134A register, which records the issuance of forms to applicants for signatures by chiefs and assistant chiefs. Collection register, where details of collected IDs cards are locked. Duplicate register, where all applicants for replacement ID cards are recorded. 5. One unused registration form 136C, serial number 256616430, which carried the application's biography and biometric data. A digital camera, serial number 6301920048857. And 8, an electrical extension cable and header. The incident severely disrupted operations and raised significant concerns about the potential misuse of the missing items. On the status of investigation and finding under the OB number 08/29/5/2025, Honorable Chair, the matter was officially reported at 9:10 hours.
Order, Ngaleche, address the speaker, not the chair. I don't know which chair you are addressing.
Noted, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the matter was formally reported at 9:10 hours on 29th May 2025 at Oljororok Police Station by OB number 08/29/05/2025. The DCI Nyandarua West Sub-County has taken up the case. Investigative actions taken include recording statement from all the officers stationed at Oljororok National Registration Bureau office, seizure and examination of office keys.
Order. Yes, Honorable Zamzam. What's the point of order? Hold.
Mheshimiwa Speaker, Mheshimiwa Ngeleche anazungumza mambo mazuri sana, lakini anazibwa hapa. Hata kuna mazungumzo yanaendelea, Mheshimiwa Speaker. Kwa hiyo mimi naomba apewe nafasi aweze kutoa mambo yake kwa nafasi nzuri. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Thank you. The culprit has fled. Go on, Ngeleche.
Asante Mheshimiwa Samsam. I was really straining. I was reading on the status, I was responding on the status of the investigation and finding under OB 8/29/5/2025. And Honorable Speaker, the recording statement from all the officers stationed at Oljororok NRB has been taken. Seizure of examination of office keys and the office mobile phones. These items have since been returned. As such was also conducted at the residence of the officers who last secured the office on the evening prior to the break-in. A normal operation have resumed at the registration office pending the conclusion of the investigation. Measures, response number C, measures to mitigating the risk of illegal use of missing ID cards. Honorable Speaker, to safeguard public interest and national security, the Nyandarua West National Registration Bureau Office has instituted a register to record all reports made by the affected applicants. For each case, the serial number of the missing ID card, the applicant's name, and the type of the applications are captured. This information is forwarded to NRB headquarters to prompt action, including blacklisting of the affected ID serial numbers. Further, Honorable Speaker, there is an ongoing public outreach exercise led by the Deputy Commissioner in collaboration with the Registrar, urging all the affected individuals to report to the office. These sensitization efforts are being conducted through public barazas and other local platforms. Response number D, Honorable Speaker, the steps being taken to replace the ID cards free of charge and without delay. Honorable Speaker, the NRB headquarters has put in place measures to fast track the replacement of the lost identity cards at no cost to the affected individuals. Applicants are being assisted to reapply through the Nyandarua West Registration Office, which submits their applications accompanied by cover letters directly to the NRB headquarters to expedite the process. Honorable Speaker, I submit. This is a statement by Honorable CS for Cabinet for Interior and National Security. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sorry.
Thank you, Honorable Mushira. Order, members. The conversations are too loud. Will every member on their feet take seats? Order. Members on their feet, take your seats. You are causing a lot of disorder in the House. Yes, Honorable Mushira.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm contented with the statement, and indeed I can confirm that the replacement of the lost IDs is happening at no cost to the beneficiary. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Next, Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations. Where's the chair? Is anybody from that committee available to make a response to Honorable Mashua Waithaka? Yes, Kandie, you are a member of the committee?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
You have a response?
No, Honorable Speaker. I don't have any response, but I will convey the message to the chairman.
There is nothing to convey. Today was a response day. So you are not going to convey anything.
Okay, let me look for the chairman immediately.
You better do that, yes. Honorable Waithaka, you hold in case he comes in. Give Honorable Waithaka the mic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I would like to say that you asked that we get a response when we came back from recess, which is today. I'd like to report, Mr. Speaker, that the family is in great distress. And I was thinking that because the person who disappeared in the United States of America, we were hoping that since the United States has a very good system of monitoring people, that by now we would have gotten a response. So, Mr. Speaker, I would urge that we get a response in the shortest possible time so that the family can know the fate of their father.
Thank you, Honorable Waithaka. Kandie, inform your chairperson that this response will be released tomorrow morning. Make sure he's here to give a response. Response to Ekwam Nabwin, Turkana North. Is Nabwin in the house? Is Nabwin in the house? He's not. Committee chair. Yes. This one, the committee chair is not there. The questioner is not there. So we leave it in limbo. They'll seek in the table office to be released at an appropriate time. Next, yes, Millie?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this chance. Mr. Speaker, as you can see, I'm seated by the tallest man in this parliament, Honorable Adipo Kwame of Karachuonyo. Mr. Speaker, I know you had indicated earlier when you had the House business that will raise a moment to eulogize two former members of parliament who are passed. And Honorable Adipo Kwame has told me that you have agreed that Honorable Phoebe issue might be brought tomorrow. Nonetheless, as a member of parliament, our first call and first stop is parliament. Mr. Speaker, would I be in order to request that even as we are waiting to eulogize them, because this is home for most of us, would it just be in order for us to stand and observe a minute of silence for two of our members, and they are women,
Order, Millie.
before we can actually even contribute?
Why do you want to take the winds out of the sails? I had agreed with a member of parliament for Karachuonyo and the member of parliament for West Mugirango, who saw me. We've lost two former members. The honorable members first, then the women second. Honorable Phoebe Asio and the Honorable Catherine Nyamato, with whom I served in the 7th Parliament. We will give an opportunity tomorrow because Mogaka was ready, Okwame was not ready with his statement, and I accommodated him that he can present the statement tomorrow. I'll give you and many others who want to eulogize the two great women leaders tomorrow, and we'll give them a befitting moment of silence tomorrow. The next is lands. Is the chair lands in the house? Yes, you are, Honorable Nyamoko. Samuel Arama is in the house? Samuel Arama? Honorable Nyamoka, I know the response belongs to the House, but to be fair to the member who saw the statement, in case he has supplementary questions, I direct that the matter be put on the order paper on Thursday this week. Next, transport and infrastructure. Is the chair in the house? GK, you are. Honorable Kenyan is in the house. Okay, go ahead and respond.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on Wednesday, 16th April 2025, the member for Eldas constituency, the Honorable Dr. Aden Kenyan, MP, requested for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding the progress made in tarmacking of Wajir, Griftu, Eldas, Bumna, Bute, Moyale, Ethiopia, that is A14 International Track Road. The Honorable Kenyan in the statement indicated that the said route has the potential to unlock transformative potential, which includes reducing logistics costs for business, strengthening supply chain resilience, and fostering regional development. Such strategic investments not only bridge isolated communities to national and continental markets, but also positions northern Kenya as a gateway for Pan-African trade, aligning with the vision of the African Continental Free Trade Area vision of seamless continental connectivity. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Kenyan therefore sought to, among other things, establish 1, the current status of funding, planning, and implementation of the tarmacking of the said road managed by Kenya, including specific timelines for its commencement. 2, plans put in place to fund this project, particularly under the Horn of Africa Gateway Project or other development initiatives, and details of these funding commitments. And 3, measures in place to fast-track the tarmacking of this critical corridor to ensure its timely completion and maximize its economic and regional integration benefits. Honorable Speaker, the committee received a written response from the Ministry of Roads and Transport on 14 May 2025, which I now wish to make. Number 1, regarding the current status of funding, planning, and implementation of this road, including specific timelines for its commencement, the ministry submitted that the tarmacking has not commenced and that Kenya is currently undertaking detailed design for its upgrading to bitumen standards, and the design is expected to be completed in December this year. Number 2, the ministry submitted that construction shall commence once design is complete and funds for the works are made available. 3, Honorable Speaker, the contractor for the routine maintenance and sport improvement works has already been selected and has been on the ground for the past 1 month, undertaking preparatory and initial maintenance activities along the design sections. These works cover the following critical road segments: 1, Wajir to Griftu; 2, Griftu to Elders; 3, Elders to Buna; 4, Buna to Dabel; 5, Dabel to Moyale. Number 4, regarding the plans put in place to fund this project, particularly under the Horn of Africa Gateway Project or other development initiative, and details of these funding commitments, the ministry submitted that the agency shall seek funds for the construction of the road once design is complete and a cost estimate is established. There are currently no funding commitments in place for the road. And number 5, regarding the measures in place to fast-track the tarmacking of this critical corridor, the ministry submitted that Kenya is undertaking the ongoing design to define the scope of improvements necessary and establish a cost estimate which will be used to seek funds. Honorable Speaker, thank you, and I submit.
Kenan.
Mr. Speaker, I'm sure from where you sit, you must be very dissatisfied with this answer. This answer is half a paragraph.
The Speaker is not a participant.
I'm sure the Speaker also is a human being, and as a person who has used that road in your earlier life as a lawyer, you must be familiar with that particular road. That road, Mr. Speaker, there was an engagement between the Kenyan government and the Ethiopian government in the early 70s, Mr. Speaker, when Mzee Kibaki was the Minister for Finance under the leadership of the late Haile Selassie and under the leadership of the late President Kenyatta. Mr. Speaker, this answer on the face of it, my good friend, Mr. Speaker, could you please ask the members to consult in low tones?
Members, reduce loud consultations.
Mr. Speaker, this answer has not attempted, and I'm sure Chairman GK is familiar with this because he comes from a region which has a lot of tarmac roads, Mr. Speaker, a region that has been privileged, a region that is lucky.
Honorable Barto, can you tell those members gravitating around you to go and take their seats? Go on.
Mr. Speaker, I was just saying, maybe the Honorable GK, coming from a region that is well taken care of in terms of road infrastructure, cannot imagine a road linking Kenya to Addis. From all the way from Addis to Moyale to Wajir, has been at the planning stage since 1974, Mr. Speaker. I'm sure, I don't know whether Mr. GK was born then. From 1974 to date, Mr. Speaker, is over 50 years. We are still planning. We are still planning. And yet, our number one foreign policy, Mr. Speaker, is economic diplomacy. Ethiopia has a population of over 150 million people. If we cannot plan for that road, Mr. Speaker, meaning therefore, and we have concentrated all our road infrastructure to a region just here, Mr. Speaker, meaning we have become an inward-looking nation, Mr. Speaker. Isn't it the high time that we declare this answer, Mr. Speaker, as a not answer at all, and the Honorable GK to go back to the ministry and get an answer that really attempts to address this historical problem, Mr. Speaker, because it says, Mr. Speaker, you look at it, this answer, I don't know who wrote this. I'm sure the Honorable Chirchir did not go through this. If indeed he did, and I know he's very sympathetic to our region, he will have drafted a different answer. Because what I wanted is to find out whether there is any planning. Even the statement on planning is contradictory. One says it's been planned, the other one says the planning will be ready by 2025, Mr. Speaker. When you plan for something, then there must be the next stage. Mr. Speaker, will I be right to ask the chairman to go back and get a satisfactory answer that will not only address the needs of the people of Wajir, Marsabit, but will also link us to that critical country called Ethiopia, which is a neighbor, which is a highly potential trade area, Mr. Speaker, for our country. Mr. Speaker, the second bit, Mr. Speaker, on this, one of the reasons, Mr. Speaker, why we decided to have many different agencies under the road sector, in particular Kenya and Kera and Kura, is to address specialized needs of the people of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is the high time that Kenya also, the leadership of Kenya, reflect and put into perspective the needs of that particular region and request the chairman to go back to these people and ensure that this road gets adequate funding immediately. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman, is it true that you have brought no answer? Give the chairman.
Honorable Speaker, I empathize with my colleague, Honorable Kenan, and I really want to assure him that it's in the interest of my committee that this road be tarmacked. But Honorable Speaker, I also want to request my colleague, my senior, Honorable Kenan, to also consider that the ministry has made a commitment in writing that they will have completed the design work by end of this year. And number two, the ministry has indicated that there is some ongoing work happening on this road, and we want to believe that what they have indicated here is what is happening, and they will keep the timelines as indicated. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Professor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think listening to this comment or the answer given by the chair, he has not given any answer. That road, I share that road, at least 65 kilometers of that road in my constituency. And I also want to inform the House that when it rains, the MP for Elders cannot get to his constituency. The MP for Mandera North, Wajir North, cannot get to his constituency just because of the poor state of that road. I think we should not be talking about we are planning. Let's take a much more affirmative action to help the people of Wajir to be connected to the world, to the only tarmac road in the north, so that they can also enjoy what other people have been enjoying. It actually, by making that road at bitumen standard, you are actually opening up the business in that area. Wajir was a very serious capital center for northern Kenya during the colonial days. And it was well connected to Mwele. We cannot continue to wait for plans to be done. And this work which the chairman said that some work is being done. There is no work which has been done. The chairman, if you are not listening, there is no work which has been done, and we need to be
made your point. Farah.
Mr. Speaker, the answer by the chairman says that design is being undertaken. 62 years after independence, a priority road, and you say the design is being undertaken. Mr. Chairman, when will this design be complete? Can you give us a time frame on when the design is going to be complete so that we can have a tentative understanding of when the funding can be sourced? Because without the design, the funding cannot be sought. Thank you. And when will also the design for Garissa, Dadaab, Liboi, Harhar Road be ready too?
Sane. Is there fumbling with the gadget?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm equally not happy, or rather not satisfied with the response of the committee. I'm a member of that committee. Mr. Speaker, it all talks to the level of marginalization. This road traverses my constituency, 60 to 70% of this road. 62 years of independence. We don't have substantive answers. As we speak, this road is impassable. Many other roads in the constituency are impassable, not motorable at all. I have made various requests to make the committee visit this road so that they can actualize and do some ground truthing. My request is that this House or the chair speaks an affirmative command on this committee, Mr. Speaker, which I belong to, that we do visit these roads so that we can come up with substantive answers. Thank you.
Chair Rhodes.
Honorable Speaker, listening to my colleagues and the interest they have to ensure that this road is tarmacked, we will invite the DG, I believe now the acting DG, Kenha, and the minister to come and explain to the committee the measures that they are undertaking to ensure that this road is tarmacked. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Kenan, very last.
Mr. Speaker, can the chairman assure this House before the end of the current regime, before the end of this term, the end of this current regime might be 2032, before the end of this current term, this particular road will be tarmacked? Can you assure the House? And two, taking into account the chairman, you preside over a very important committee. Can you also assure this House that the planning will be fast-tracked so it does not wait for the end of this year and the commencement of the construction starts immediately?
Since you're going to have the, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Since you're going to have the DG and the Minister, the Cabinet Secretary, most likely available for this, could you do the totality of Northern Kenya? Because the road I talked to you about, the Madogo, Garissa, Dadaab, Liboi, Harhar Road, the design has already been awarded to a company. It's been ongoing now for the last 7-8 months. We expected by more than 7 months. By now it will be ready. When will that design also be ready so that funding can be sourced? In addition to the road that's just been mentioned by the Honorable Kainan, which is equally very, very important. Thank you.
To Honorable Farah, I don't think I want to talk about that other road. You will need to ask a question the same way Honorable Kenan has done, and I will respond. I also want to say, Honorable Speaker, that I I love the way the regional members of the members of parliament from this region united in pushing for their project, for this particular project, another project, and we will not disappoint you as a committee that I had. Honorable Speaker, to Honorable Kenan, I don't think I have the powers to assure the House. The only thing I can do is confirm that together with my colleagues in the Transport Committee, we will do our best to support the tarmacking of this road. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable members, allow me to acknowledge in the Speaker's gallery Changondu Secondary School from Booni, Makwiny. In the public gallery, we have Musibao Primary School from Kinangop, Nyandarua, Gatwamba JSS from Kieni, Nyeri, Sekenani Primary School from Narok West, Narok, Ngumo Boys from Kibwezi West, Makwiny, and Teret Secondary School from Njoro, Nakuru. On my behalf and on behalf of the House, we welcome the students, their teachers, and those accompanying them to the House of Parliament. Next order. Hold. Yes, Jared.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity, and let me join you in welcoming our colleagues back from recess. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you specifically for walking this House the journey on reclassification of hardship areas. And through your efforts, Honorable Speaker, you did invite the Prime Cabinet Secretary before this House, who took us through the journey of new reclassification of hardship areas, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, when the Prime Cabinet Secretary presented here, he did mention the new areas that were yet to be gazetted, but had been identified by the government for gazettement, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, a week ago, I read that that process has since been suspended. They have suspended gazettement of areas that have already been identified by the government to be hardship areas, Honorable Speaker. Now, the reason that has been advanced is that those who are benefiting and who are to be removed from the scheme have since made noises to the effect that they are not ready to lose, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I've got absolutely no problem people retaining what they are getting. But then what is the fate of those who are identified as new beneficiaries by government, Honorable Speaker? And you are not new to this process because you have always stood with us in this journey, Honorable Speaker. Nyando constituency was part of the areas that were newly identified for gazettement. And the expectation out there was that by the end of July, in the new financial year, they were going to have varied pay slips, Honorable Speaker. Now, with this information, it has dampened the spirits of teachers particularly, together with those who serve in the national government, or public servants for that matter, that they are now not very keen to what this government talks about, Honorable Speaker. But when the government states an issue, much less by a Prime Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Speaker, it has to be implemented. You cannot walk back on a promise that has been made to people who absolutely need this help, Honorable Speaker. So I need your direction.
Honorable Jared Okello, you are prosecuting an argument based on something you read somewhere. Yes. There has been no official communication to that effect. So you probably are flogging a dead horse. Yes. Why can't you, if you need better clarity, frame another request and I see the majority leader is here, then I can direct him to take an appropriate moment and respond. Because you are saying you read somewhere. Yes. And you are using that as a basis of your authority, contrary to your standing orders. Yes. Yes.
Honorable Speaker, whereas I read it in the mainstream media, which has a degree of authenticity, I take your direction as to put probably a supplementary question on this matter so that the leadership of the House can give
Go ahead and
the right
so.
answers.
I'll approve for you to bring it to the floor.
I'll do that right away, Honorable Speaker, and I thank you.
Yes, Honorable Milemba.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this chance. On the same matter of hardship allowance, I think the Honorable Jared forgets one thing which I thought should have been fundamental for him to raise. When the Prime Cabinet Secretary was here, the Speaker made a ruling, and I think, Honorable Speaker, I should draw your attention to the ruling that you made. And it was after Honorable Millie spoke about policy changing a law or an act. And you ruled that before the matter is handled beyond a certain stage, it's brought back to the House. So I think that's what Honorable Jared should follow, and I'm also following the same, because I'm a keen and thorough follower of the fact that no teacher who has been getting hardship allowance should lose his place, but also keen that if new places are there, let them be included. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
You've just fallen into the same trap as Okello, because you are buttressing something that is based on rumor. And Standing Order 87 is very clear, except as the Speaker may otherwise allow, it shall be out of order for a member to refer to an extract from print or electronic media as an authority in the member's speech. So he used a fault authority, and you are using the same fault authority as a basis of your argument. Let him bring, or you bring, I know you are a trade unionist, for teachers who are mostly affected by, yes, that's correct. Jared Okello is pursuing the rights of the people he represents using rumors from the media. And that's what I'm saying should not be the case. So when he files or you file an additional request, I will allow it to be prosecuted. Next order.
Order number 8, motion. Consideration of the performance audit report on the provision of services to persons with disability by the National Council for Persons with Disability. Question to be put.
Order, members on their feet, take your seats. DK, today you are extremely active. Honorable members, we will now put the question at order number 8, which is that this House adopts the report of the Public Investments Committee on Social Services, Administration and Agriculture on its consideration of the performance audit report by the Auditor General on the provision of services to persons with disabilities by the National Council for Persons with Disabilities laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 30th July 2024. As members of that opinion say aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 9, motion. Consideration of the 5th report on the financial statement for NGCDF accounts for 6 constituencies in Busia County.
Chairperson, Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee, Honorable Mulyungi, PS Emeritus.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the 5th report of the Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee on its examination of the audited financial statements for the National Government Constituencies Development Fund for 6 constituencies in Busia County for the financial years 2013-14, 2014-15.
Order, Honorable Muriungi. Read the motion as framed on the order paper. I beg to move the following motion, then read the motion as it appears on the order paper.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that
I beg to move the following motion.
Then
you read the motion as it's framed on the order paper.
Oh, sorry.
You don't have the order paper?
I've speaked it.
Okay.
I have it.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move the following motion. Consideration of the 5th report of the financial statements for the NGCDF accounts for 6 constituencies in Busia County. Mr. Speaker.
Order, Honorable Muriungi. You are a seasoned member. I beg to move the following motion, then read the motion as it is, word for word.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Millie, can you help your colleague behind you?
No, I have it now.
Yes.
I have it now.
Mr.
Speaker, I beg to move the following motion. That this House adopts the 5th report of the Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements for the National Government Constituency Development Fund for 6 constituencies in Busia County, being Teso South, Matayos, Nambale, Funyula, Teso North, and the Butula constituencies for the financial years 2013-2014, 2014-2015, 2015-2016, 2016-2017, 2017-2018, 2018-2019, 2019-2020, 2020-2021, and the 2021-2022 laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 10th of April, 2025.
Excellent. Now you can use your notes to move in the manner you wish.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that Honorable Speaker, I think my clerk did the wrong notes. Honorable Speaker, the Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee is established pursuant to National Standing Order number 205B and is responsible for the examination of the reports of the Auditor General on the accounts of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund. The National Government Constituency Action Fund, GAF, and the respective governing boards. This is to ensure transparency, efficiency, and effectiveness of utilization of public resources. Honorable Speaker, the committee examined a total of 54 reports of the Auditor General for Teso South, Matayos, Nambale, Funyula, Teso North, and the Mbutula constituencies, covering 9 financial years for 2013-14 to 2021-2022. The observations, findings, and recommendations are contained in the committee report now before the House. The committee inherited a backlog of over 4,000 audit reports for the financial year 2013-2014 for NGCDF. Given that each of the 290 constituencies is audited independently, the committee initially reviewed financial statements for 3 years concurrently per county. Later, we resolved to examine all the available reports up to the most recent current year. Honorable Speaker, the Constituency Development Fund, first enacted in 2003 and later realigned through the NGCDF Act 2015, has remained a critical vehicle supporting grassroots development in constituencies through direct funding of local projects, impacting education, infrastructure, and the local institutions positively. The fund has had a significant impact on the lives of the people of Busia County through various infrastructure and social development projects, including the construction and renovation of schools, purchase of land for public institutions, and supporting for security and other initiatives. A highlight of some of the projects undertaken in Busia County constituencies examined include: number one, in Teso South constituency, the fund supported the construction of a two-story administration and tuition block at Busia Township Primary School. In Matayos constituency, a major project undertaken was the construction of an administration block at Mundinga Secondary School. In Nambale constituency, the fund was used to purchase land for expansion of Quilare Secondary School and Mungasi TTI. In Funyula constituency, the fund supported drilling of a bore at Munandi Primary School, providing the much needed water to the community. In Teso North constituency, the fund financed the construction of Kocholia KMTC, including its administration block, lecture halls, and laboratories. In Butula constituency, the fund was used to construct Burinda Chiefs Camp, which now serves as the office of the Marachi West Assistant County Commissioner. Honorable Speaker, upon examination of the Auditor General's reports for the 6 constituencies, the committee made the following general observations and recommendations. On outstanding land issues, the committee observed that during the period under review, all 6 constituencies in Busia County had outstanding land issues, including transfer, succession, acquisition of title deeds for land purchased using the fund, relating to procurement done over 10 years ago with no title deeds. The committee therefore recommends that the NGCDF board, in conjunction with the NGCDF committees, should within 3 months upon adoption of this report ensure that fund account managers are guided on the succession and the land transfer processes to ensure title deeds for their respective institutions, and institutions are listed as beneficiaries where appropriate on succession matters. The board should also establish a clear policy on the procedure for buying land to ensure due diligence is done, ensuring compliance with Section 11(1)(k) of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund Regulations 2016, which mandates verification and authentication of ownership documents with relevant government agencies. On pending, ongoing, and stalled projects, the committee observed that a critical cause of stalled projects was partial allocation of funds and late exchequer releases by the Treasury. The committee recommends that NGCDA board should discourage partial allocation of funds and ensure projects are completed within 2 financial years. The board should also develop a realistic policy framework in consultation with relevant government departments for costing projects to ensure estimates are accurate to prevent stalling of projects. Honorable Speaker, on audit, coordination, and documentation, the committee noted that there is inadequate coordination between fund account managers and the Office of the Auditor General, particularly in responding to audit queries, and are failing the necessary documents for audit review in a timely manner. The committee recommends that NGCDA board issues administrative guidelines to ensure fund account managers maintain original project files at the NGCDF office to ensure they are available for audit. Further, constituency committees should employ qualified accountants to strengthen financial management. Honorable Speaker, on non-compliance with procurement laws, the committee observed that management and the project management committees, some of them failed to comply with the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. The committee recommends that the NGCDA board, in consultation with the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority, conducts continuous capacity building for all fund account managers and PMCs on procurement laws and regulations. On allocation of emergency funds, the committee observed instances where funds were allocated for non-emergency purposes. The committee recommends strict adherence to Section 6.2 and 813 of the NGCDF Act 2015, which outlines the conditions for allocation and use of emergency funds. Finally, Honorable Speaker, on co-funding of projects, the committee observed that buses were being purchased through hire purchase and asset financing, which is contrary to the specified procurement methods and the board's directive on purchase of buses on an one-off basis. The committee recommends that NGCDA board enforce its guidelines on the purchase of school buses where co-funding is necessary. Evidence and availability of funds from the partner institutions should be provided before the board's approval. Honorable Speaker, the committee recommendations in this report are aimed at enhancing accountability, transparency, and efficiency in the management of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund in Busia and the development outcomes in our constituencies throughout the country for oversight by the NGCDF. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and request Honorable Muthonia Kiara to second the motion. I thank you, Honorable Madam Speaker.
You can call the seconder, but before that, allow me to recognize the presence of the following schools which are seated in the public gallery. Harmony Hills Academy from Naivasha constituency, Nakuru County. The Link Group from Mumias constituency, Kakamega County. And Nyahururu Highway JSS from Daragwa constituency in Nyandarua County. And Kiambatha Primary School from Gishugu constituency in Kirinyaga County. And seated in the speaker's gallery, there is Arya School Kisumu from Kisumu Central constituency, Kisumu County. On behalf of the substantive speaker and the National Assembly, we welcome you to Parliament. Thank you. You may proceed. Who's the seconder?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the decentralized committee did interrogate and look at the audited reports of Teso South, Mathias, Nambari, Funyula, Teso North, and Butura constituencies in Busia County. Honorable Speaker, the committee were examining the audited accounts, invited both current and former fund account managers, as well as the Chief Executive Officer of the NGCDF Board to clarify issues raised by the Auditor General. The committee made observations and recommendations for the respective constituencies based on the nature of the audited issues raised. Honorable Speaker, it is very evident that a majority of the issues that were raised did cut across all the constituencies, Honorable Madam Speaker. And one of the major issues that was raised is the issue of land, which has been mentioned, Honorable Speaker, and the issue of land has become very emotive in almost all the constituencies where land is purchased, but eventually it lacks documentation. Honorable Speaker, with this, Honorable Speaker, widespread anomaly, the NGCDF board has been advised to fast track on the sale documents and ensure that all land purchased as required documents. Honorable Speaker, matters of great concern is failure of the fund managers to submit the necessary documents for audit review at the time of the audit. The fund account managers are well trained, but they know all the documents that they are supposed to avail during the time of audit. But Honorable Speaker, more often than not, these documents are not availed. Further, Honorable Madam Speaker, the committees recommended that all the PMCs, the project managers, they are well trained and well versed on their law as the PMCs at the constituency level. Honorable Speaker, to prioritize proper audits, Honorable Speaker, the committee recommended that all the documents be availed at the time of audit. The committee further argues improved coordination between the Office of the Auditor General and the offices of the fund account managers. Honorable Speaker, the issue of stored and ongoing projects and pending projects which are left halfway is an issue that is very critical in proper accounting and at the same time prudent use of public resources. Honorable Speaker, the committee did recommend that for future, let the fund account managers allocate money sufficient to complete all the ongoing projects. Honorable Speaker, the NGCDF continues to be a critical vehicle for grassroots development. The implementation of the committee's recommendation as contained in this report will go a long way in ensuring that there is in the management and effectiveness of this very critical fund. It is worth noting, Honorable Madam Speaker, that among the tangible projects that are physically visible in our country across all constituencies are projects which are implemented using the NGCDF fund. Honorable Speaker, it is therefore very, very necessary that we ask all the MPs to do proper oversighting so that they can ensure that service delivery is timely to strengthen the accountability of this fund. Honorable Speaker, I second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that the House adopts the 5th report of the Decentralized Funds Accounts Committee on its consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund for 6 constituencies in Busia County, being Teso South, Matayos, Nambale, Funyula, Teso North, and Butula constituencies for the financial years 2013-2014, financial year 2014-2015, financial year 2015-2016, financial year 2016-2017, financial year 2017-2018, financial year 2018-2019, financial year 2019-2020, financial year 2020-2021, and financial year 2021-2022, laid on the table of this House on Thursday, 10th April 2025. Honorable Millie, you want to contribute before I put the question?
Madam Speaker, I presume you have proposed. Thank you. Madam Speaker, let me thank you for giving me this opportunity to contribute to this. Madam Speaker, I want to thank the committee for that report in relation to NGCDF utilization in the constituencies in Busia County. Madam Speaker, I do note that the committee has concentrated especially on policy issues that will enhance efficiency and efficacy in delivery. Madam Speaker, I know that we have, when we were proposing amendments to the Constitution, we spoke to this issue. Some of us spoke, some didn't have an opportunity to speak. But I want to say, Madam Speaker, that indeed one of the things that Kenya needs to understand is that political theory informs development. And in Africa, we adopted certain political theories from the West, and some of them are not necessarily the right size or the right fit. We have a country that is very ethnicized. We have 42 tribes. I think now there are 44 tribes. And Madam Speaker, with the nature of our politics, sometimes you discover that if you come from opposition areas like the areas where some of us come from, then what it means is that you can spend over 40 years without seeing any national government fund. The only fund that we know that is guaranteed, especially in the sector of education and security, is the NGCDF fund. And I want to clarify, Madam Speaker, that even if the NGCDF fund were to be stopped from going to the constituencies, it will not go to the counties, because NGCDF funds are not devolved funds. They are funds, they are part of the national government fund. So even if the centralized system that the national government has adopted were to be withdrawn so that we move away from decentralization, then it means that decision will solely be made at the national level. But right now, we have our own people making those decisions at the village levels through public participation. People are able to say what their needs are, and the MP is able to oversight and intervene where there is unfairness. Madam Speaker, I just wanted to raise one issue that this committee has talked to. I agree with them over the issue of land, that whenever we are doing work as CDF, as a national government, that land needs to have title. The biggest primary school in my constituency, which is called Usare, public primary school, when I joined as a member of parliament, there was a court order that the school be sold and given back to the original owner. And it's the biggest public primary school. And it was a court order. Why? Because when the land was being transferred, or when the school was, the person was donating, they never gave back, they never gave the title deed, or there was no transfer. And because of that, there are some people who become smart, their grandfathers or their fathers donate land. And after they have died, they turn and now want to claim that land, especially where land has appreciated in cost. Madam Speaker, one of the things I want to urge the committee to reconsider is the issue that they have said that all projects must be delivered within the same financial year. Madam Speaker, if that were the situation, then Suba North would not have a KMTC, or Kenya Medical Training College. Suba North would not have a TTI. Suba North would not have a police divisional headquarters. Suba North would not have another sub-county headquarters. All projects that are more than 50 million each. Madam Speaker, it has been possible for Suba North to do that because of incremental allocation of resources. And those are the resources. If you go to Waondo in Suba North, which was a very quiet sleeping village, right now it's a buzz with students. People are building a structure so that students can live in, because there is not much accommodation. There are women who are supplying food to the institution. Economic activities are an all-time high. And Madam Speaker, when you have big institutions like that, it just changes the face of a place. And now wherever I go in Suba North, every village I go, they're asking for a TTI or a KMTC. Why? Because they've seen how it has potential to just change the economic fortunes, because the students will come from way beyond Suba North. We have students who are coming even from Mombasa to change the local economy. So I would want to urge the committee, the special funds committee, to consider working with the board, that there are special circumstances that may require that funds are allocated piecemeal. Because if you are talking about equity, for instance, and the CDF funds, it's not as much as people usually assume it is, because there are statutory allocations. Madam Speaker, if, for instance, one project worth 50 million the money was put in one financial year, it means in that year, other than bursary, there will be no other project that will be done. So I would want to encourage the committee to reconsider that. There are improvements that are very good, like the one on land that there is need for title. But on this one, because we want, there are areas where for development to reach, it takes a while. I know our counties are doing a lot, but they don't have the mandate to build schools or to do, security installations. So for us to have a change in our constituencies, if you want legacy projects, sorry, I've seen, it's no longer Madam Speaker, it's now Mr. Speaker, lest I am accused of making you something that Mr. Speaker doesn't like. We know him is a proponent of something which I do not want to mention, one as a Christian and one as a human rights activist, which puts me right in the middle of what you don't like. So, Mr. Speaker, I just want to say that based on that, I would want to encourage the committee to have a special attention on special projects. And finally, Mr. Speaker, the other issue that I would want to speak to is the issue of, because as MPs we do oversight, and sometimes when you do oversight, you discover that there are people, like maybe in a past constituency, you discover that maybe a fund account manager who is employed at the national level may have not used the funds in the manner that they have done, that they were meant to. Maybe they've used overspent in one thing as against another. They should be held personally responsible, Mr. Speaker. And where such managers are willing to, I would want to encourage the board to make sure that they carry through and not to shield people who may not necessarily have stolen, but have gone against, like for instance, if you have funds for building a class and the money is used in monitoring and evaluation instead, that takes away, the accounts from what was actually it was intended for, which is not in the law, because the law is very clear. The NGCDF Act is very clear in the way the funds should be spent. Otherwise, I support the committee and thank them for the good work. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes. The Honorable Gitonga Murugara, you want to speak to this? Certainly not interested. The Honorable Zamzam Chimba.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika, na mimi niweze kupongeza kamati ambayo inashughulikia masala ya NGCDF na ngafu. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni dhahiri kuwa kamati ambayo inashughulikia mambo haya ya kuweza kupeleka maendeleo kule mashinani inafanya kazi nzuri sana Mheshimiwa Spika. Na mimi nilikuwa napenda sana kuzungumzia ili Wakenya waelewe. Wajua vita vimekuwa vingi hapa, wanalaumu wabunge, si wabunge ambao wanafanya, kuna kamati ambayo inasimamia haya maendeleo. Hata katika ngafu, sisi kina mama 47 groups zikisha apply ile pesa ya ngafu kwa katika board, wao wanatuletea sisi check, tunaweza kupeleka tu Mheshimiwa Spika. Lakini yote ni tisa kuwa hizi funds zimeweza kusaidia uchumi wa taifa, ikizingatiwa kuwa sehemu kubwa ya taifa kama sisi tulikuwa katika upinzani muda mrefu, ilikuwa tupati yale matunda mengine Mheshimiwa Spika. Ilikuwa tunategemea hii kidogo ambayo inakuja katika mfuko wa ngafu ndo tuweze kuingia tuangalie maendeleo gani tunaweza kufanya. Mheshimiwa Spika, ukiangalia Mombasa nimeweza kujenga kutumia ngafu ile GBV Center ambayo ndio kubwa Kenya nzima, na ni hiyo ngafu ambayo inaweza kusaidia kina mama kule mashinani. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa hiyo na mimi pia ningeweza kusema kamati hii iangalie kina mama pia tutamani kujenga sehemu, lakini kupata ile hatimiliki inakuwa shida. Kwa hiyo kama kuna namna ambayo wanaweza kutuita pia sisi kina mama 47 tukakaa chini tukajua kamati inaweza kutusaidia namna gani, pia nitaweza kushukuru Mheshimiwa Spika. Na kama alivyosema mtangulizi wangu, yani maendeleo kwenda mashinani ni kuwezesha ile NGCDF iweze kushika mpaka kule chini kama ilivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, wala wasiweze kupokonywa. Mheshimiwa Spika, itakuwa wabunge nao pia wanaangaliwa kila sehemu, wanaambiwa hapa hakuna shule, hapa hakuna ofisi za maskari, hapa hakuna ofisi ya chief. Unapata hawa waheshimiwa wabunge ndio wameweza kuangalia oversight kuhakikisha kuwa haya maendeleo yanafika mashinani. Mheshimiwa Spika, na mimi napenda kusema waachiwe hii mambo ya CDF, waweze oversight wakiangalia kunaenda namna gani bila kupokonywa wala kupelekwa sehemu nyingine. Na tumeangalia Mheshimiwa Spika, kule chini hawa ndugu zetu magavana wamekuwa na pesa tena nyingi sana, lakini huwezi kufeel maendeleo yao kama vile unavyofeel maendeleo ambayo yanasimamiwa na mbunge. Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa hiyo mimi napigia upato hii kamati na nasema wabunge waendelee kuwa supported ili waweze kuangalia miradi inayohusika na jamii kule chini, manake wao ndo ambao wanasimamia jamii, walipigiwa kura waje bunge waje kuangalia ni mambo gani wanaweza kusaidia jamii. Na Kenya ielewe kuwa hizi pesa hazishikwi na mbunge, hakuna mahali popote anaweka signature. Mbunge yeye ana oversight tu kuhakikisha yale maendeleo ambao wananchi wamemuomba, na ameenda kwenye vikao kuangalia kuwa wananchi wanataka hili na lile liwe imetimika na wao wameweza kupata maendeleo. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika.
The Honorable Dr. James Nyikal, the Chair Departmental Committee on Health.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the report of the committee. Mr. Speaker, I've not seen a single fund that the people have access to, like the CDF fund. Mr. Speaker, I've not seen a single fund which has as low overhead cost as the CDF fund. Mr. Speaker, I've not seen a single fund which gives equity as this fund. This is the fund that all the 290 constituencies are certain they will get it, and they get it. And Mr. Speaker, this is a fund where the people have access and control. People may not realize, but even the fund manager does not eventually control the payment out of the CDF fund. Once the money goes to the constituency and it is given to the project management committees, the fund manager is just one of the signatories. In fact, the chair of the project management committee, which is often an ordinary member of the community who happens to be the chair of a school, is the chair of that committee. And the secretary of the head of the institution, even at a primary school level, is the secretary. And the fund manager is just a signatory. I don't think there's any other fund that actually is controlled by the people like the CDF fund. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, this is a fund that I think as a country we must support, not just as parliament, but actually as a country. Whenever there are problems like in schools, this is a fund that will respond to that emergency in a school immediately and does not need the long-winded processes of government. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the work this committee has done to point out the few problems that are actually affecting this fund. And it's good they have pointed out, they have given the recommendations, like the issue of the purchase of land. Mr. Speaker, schools will come and say, the school compound is small, we need land. And they don't have to go anywhere. It's actually purchase the land, and that is within the allowed provisions, and they'll get the land. But what is the problem with actually documentation of land in the rural areas? And this is something that should go to the Ministry of Lands. A lot of pieces of land in the rural areas are actually not owned by living people. If you go into the rural areas, the land has been passed on from great-great-grandfather to grandfather to the son, and they still just say, this is our land. So the process of purchasing land in the rural areas, it's actually complex, and I think that is why the CDF committees find themselves into this problem. In fact, the process of land, where there are no land registries, and some places, people have to travel very far to get to land registries, and then to get courts. You find a place where to go to court takes a whole day, to go to a land registry is another day, and you can't get it together. So, and because of that, people just hand over land by word of mouth. Even land is sold by word of mouth. I think the lawyers that are here should actually look at how do we help our people to have titles for land. I know a lot is going on, but the processes, the registries are not close to the people, courts are not close to the people, and I think that is something we should look at, because CDF will be used a lot, particularly for schools in land. It is good this has been pointed out. It is not only with the committees. Higher purchase, I think they have formed out, really, it doesn't really make sense to buy buses, for example, on higher purchase. As the law is now, once money is in the CDA fund, in the committee at the constituency level, it doesn't get back at the end of the financial year. So you can plan with money in the account and buy a bus at once instead of getting higher purchase arrangement, which actually makes the bus a lot more costly. So I think that is something that they have pointed out that I agree with. Stalled projects, I think we should not allow this. As I said, this is the only fund that people have access to. And people are always needy when they seek CDF funds. Security people, schools. And this fund, Mr. Speaker, has made a lot of difference to chiefs. Chiefs for a long, and the senior chiefs, and been actually managing or running their sub-locations and locations from their houses. And because of this, a lot of chiefs now have these police stations. We have now very neat police stations. So this fund has done a lot. People think that if this fund is actually, if we do away with this fund, the money in this fund will go to the counties. It won't. This money, as we all know, comes after the division of revenue has put money at the national level. And I would be concerned because really, let's face it, the use of money at the counties has not matched the value that people have seen with CDF funds. And now, I think we are all aware that some governors even opposing that they should not be audited by the Auditor General. That is ridiculous. So if we want, people are thinking we want to put a fund there, that is crazy. What we are doing now, we are actually discussing the Auditor General's report, and that is the oversight that we should do, and that is really our role. As the law stands, lawyers are here, I don't see what the role of the MP in CDF is other than oversight, and that's what we should do. And I think it is the closest oversight that we should encourage. If something is working well, like CDF has worked, I think we should now look at the law and see how do we improve it, not how do we kill it. And people want to kill something which is good for the people. I don't understand why we look at CDA fund as a fund for the MPs. It's not the MPs that will suffer. It is actually the I'll accept the information.
Honorable Mili.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've heard Honorable Nyikal keeps referring to us as lawyers, maybe the lawyers. So maybe I just wanted to inform him on the last issue, where he was actually asking that, that the role of MPs is purely oversight, which is true as currently constituted. But I do not understand why even the courts have not accepted the reality that there is no complete separation of powers. In most of the countries, it's a fusion of powers. And if you are talking like just I just didn't want to talk a lot to it because Honorable, I wanted to give other members. But I'm actually doing this as part of my PhD thesis, that what works, we must Africanize. We cannot be following blindly. When we have something good coming from Africa, why should we follow? Because Montesquieu from France in 1786 came up with that. Did Montesquieu know my village in Koloka Nyala in Rusinga Island? So we need to do things which work in Koloka Nyala. Yes, or in what in Rangwe? Or Moche in Rangwe. So, or Kanyada Kanyabala in your constituency. So that was my point of information, that there is no absolute separation. Even in the UK that we are following from, there is no absolute separation.
In fact, Honorable Dr. Nyikal, let me just say something Honorable Mili did not tell you. That when we decided we would be budgeting for the building of courts, I remember in the 11th Parliament, the executive said yes. But they said the money should go to the Public Works Ministry, not to the judiciary. Because the judiciary is to dispense justice, not to build. And I remember even being alive to separation of powers, and the parliament then, this parliament, seeing it that it would be better that money goes to the judiciary to build courts, because before money was being allocated for courts and nothing was being built anyway. We advised as the then JLAC that the money will go to the judiciary, and it is out of that, following our sitting where the current chair of JLAC, the Honorable Gitonga Murugara, was, that we told the judiciary to actually do a construction department, employing architects, engineers, quantity surveyors, and everybody to synchronize construction. So that if we were to have a pure separation of powers, then really the judiciary would not be receiving that money for building courts. It would be going to the works, department. So indeed there is no pure separation of powers. But the point that Honorable Nyikal was making, which you are distracting him from, honorable members, is also very critical. I just saw in the Citizen News today, governors saying that the bursaries they give should not be audited. Should not be audited. And so I heard Honorable Nyikal to be saying, an MP must audit, and that is the role this House currently have around CDF. The audit reports you are talking about came from the auditor. They are now before Parliament for cross-checking and for oversight purposes. So proceed, Honorable Nyikal.
Mr. Speaker, I've received a lot of information and I've been educated. But even if we say there's separation of powers, in my view, this is still separation. Ideally, if I look at, in my constituency, I look at how CDF is operating. If you look carefully, really, the Deputy County Commissioner has a more direct role on the management of CDF than an MP. right from this, the selection of the committee and the seat in that committee. And therefore, me, in my mind, even that separation has just gone further down. So, Honorable Millie, in your PhD, I think you should now look at it that even if you accept separation, then let it be known that the separation is still there, even at the constituency level. And I've indicated very well, if you look at the project management committee, the MP has no role there up to that level. So to me, if should it be that the separation is in principle need not be there, and then you can bring it out because of where we come from, our histories and so on, and our colonial history. But even if you accept the separation, to me, I still see separation up to the ground. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I support the report of the committee.
The Honorable Geoffrey Odanga is now recognized to speak.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Coming from Busia, where the team visited, I want to appreciate and thank them for the work they have done. And bringing out those challenges is quite critical and very important that will help us to improve in the management of the NGCDF by our committees and the manager. Honorable Speaker, my concern first is that, look at this, the decentralized committee came and was looking at an audit report that is 9 years back. It has taken so long, many things maybe will have gone wrong. They are only coming up with the report of the audit that has covered a whole 9 years. And this is to ask the Office of the Auditor General to bring out these reports frequently so that we are able and the committees are able to correct on the errors they have made. Because that will, the way they are doing it will take a long time for people to be able to put in place even their recommendations. And I like the recommendations of the decentralized committee under Honorable Mulyungi. Honorable Speaker, the issue of land is very emotive, and almost every member has commented on it. Mr. Speaker, I don't want to repeat what others have said about the same issue of land. But again, many of our people are not easy on releasing their title deeds to go for evaluation before they see payment. Some of them believe that maybe people are going to play around with their certificates. So the requirement that they first have to do evaluation and the owners of this land surrender their title deeds at least for use of evaluation makes the whole business very long and tedious. Maybe the board may need to find a better way. Secondly, the issue of buses. Initially, when we started, some of us took those buses on the hire purchase. And you know, we usually write proposals. And when you write proposals, the proposals are vetted by the board. The board needs to reject those proposals and advise the committees accordingly. Otherwise, I think the easiest way is to buy them at once. But the board needs to put it very clear that they will not accept buses on hire purchase. Honorable Speaker, the NGCDF has done a lot. And apart from, in my constituency, even last week, I delegated some work to some of my people in one of the schools. And one of those guys representing the county government tried to, like say, NGCDF, we have done nothing, we have not done cab rolling schools and so on. Members of the community just told them, show us one of the ECD classes you have constructed since you came to office. There is none actually. all development they are seeing is from the NGCDF. Honorable Speaker, co-funding is very important in some of these organizations we have done, but capacity building, like they have said, needs to be done regularly to the committees. One of the members of the former NGCDF board members visited Matayos constituency, and we went to one of the schools. So when we told them that we are doing co-funding, he was arguing that it's not provided for. But I told him, look at the act. So everybody needs capacity building, even from the board itself. The directors and so on may not exactly know what is required of the NGCDF about co-funding and so on, because with co-funding you just have to state exactly what the other party has done and your party that you are, as an NGCDF are going to do, and the cost. I want to agree with the Honorable Millie that we don't need to be copy-pasting when we are making our laws from the other parts of the world, Europe, America, where we have solutions, where we have our own ways of doing things. We need to improve and do things that suit our circumstances. And finally, Honorable Speaker, NGCDF is a very popular fund in this country. As we were making amendments to the NGCDF Act, we have had a few rejections from a few members from our sister house, which is not called for. Honorable Speaker, even if we went to the referendum now, NGCDF will be voted 110% for. So, Honorable Speaker, I support the report of the Decentralized Fund Committee, and that, Honorable Speaker, we, the people of Kenya, need NGCDF, and we want these recommendations they are making to be implemented. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi, the MP for Kwanza, will speak. But before you do that, the Honorable Wanyonyi, let me recognize a public visit to the National Assembly. Honorable members, seated in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon are St. Angela Merisi Wamagana, students and school from Tetu constituency from the county of Nyeri. I'm not able to see them clearly, but it appears it is a girls' school. And because the Honorable Member for Tetu is not there, I wanted to allow the Minority Whip to welcome them to this House of Parliament on behalf of the House. The Honorable Millie Grace Akoto Diambo Mabona.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. And I wish to welcome the school from Tetu. Of course, they are girls. I know your eyesight is bad. Mine is bad, but not that bad, so I can see they're actually girls. But you might also just be protecting yourself by pretending that you are not seeing that they're girls. But having said that, Mr. Speaker, I just want to encourage the young girls and let them know that I'd earlier raised the issue about the death of Honorable Phoebe Asio. And I watched Honorable Phoebe Asio when I was about 11 years old. And when I watched her, I didn't watch her within Parliament. I watched her outside when she was doing, when they were counting her votes. She's amongst the first 10 women members of Parliament in this country. And in my county, she was the first woman. And Mr. Speaker, I came after her, after hiatus of 16 years. Why I'm telling the girls this is their privilege to be watching us from within Parliament. So if me, I watched Phoebe Asio from outside Parliament, and I become a member of Parliament serving my 4th term, them watching me from here can be presidents. So I encourage you to work hard, be focused, be disciplined, and you'll get what you want, whatever you want. It's not only being an MP, be a leader where you are. Even if it's selling sukuma wiki, be a leader where you are, where God chooses you. Thank you. Occupy the corner office.
So on my own behalf and on behalf of the House, I welcome the students from Tetu constituency, students of St. Angela Merisi Wamagana School, to the National Assembly to watch the proceedings. May you grow to be good girls, not bad girls. Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi will now make his contributions.
May I make my contribution on this? Mr. Speaker, I think having read and heard the presentation by our good brother, the chair, on what happened in this area, one and foremost, Mr. Speaker, let's be serious. CDF is actually there, and there are people who are actually making all sorts of remarks. Some of them are not very happy. Today, we've had these problems. They have even gone to court. They want to nullify that. They want this CDF to be discontinued. But you can, you and I know that because you are a Kenyan like I am, CDF has done so much for this country. And the absence of CDF, of course, will go back to Harambee. And I can tell you, Harambee in this country is not making sense at all. Even when somebody has passed on your area, all you hear is that please, Mr. Speaker, come and supervise or at least preside over, or be a master of ceremony or whatever it is, or be a guest of, for the burial of whatever. And Harambees are not anything that you can go by. So CDF is actually, we should do everything possible in this particular house. And I've sat here because I want to make this contribution, because I want the Busia members of parliament, I think my colleague is here present and others are not here. Let's do the benchmarking. I, of course, have been in this parliament, this is my third year, and I can tell you that I'm very strict. I do the oversight. Because what happens is, Mr. Speaker, if you leave it as it is, today you have a fund manager coming in, he'll be there for about 4 or 5 months, and he goes away with no records at all. So if you don't do the oversight, you'll have these kind of problems that you are facing. And I can tell you CDF has done so much in terms of employment, in terms of infrastructure, and of course, we have also got bursaries that actually our children, those old men and women who have been left with the children because their parents passed on, they are not able to take them to school. And through CDF,
Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi, do you agree to be informed by the Honorable Dr. Lillian Gogo?
She can make her own remarks after I've gone. She's a good rate. Yeah. All I'm saying is that CDF is...
Lillian Gogo, you can only inform a member who wants information. Unfortunately, the information is rejected. Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi, proceed.
Thank you very much for your protection. I want to say this. I think there's a lot of, I think we've had experience, and I'm sure my colleagues from Busia have the same problem. We have a lot of changes of fund managers. And again, in that, you find the records, you don't find the records actually correct. And that's what I think this committee found out. I want to say that for 9 years, and they have not, corrected those things. For example, land. Land, is very emotive. And you are quite right when you spoke. Land is very emotive. In fact, you find that land has changed hands more than 4 or 5 times. And so by the time you come in and you want to purchase a piece of land for a school or for whatever institution, first of all, you must have an agreement. They must have an agreement, and you are a lawyer. You must have an agreement, and they go by that agreement. Doesn't matter just who was the owner of that particular piece of land. So I want to ask the members of parliament from Busia that this is CDF, we must at all costs protect it. And when the outside people see this kind of loopholes, we're going to have problems and not be able to move as is expected. And therefore, I want to also make a remark on buying of the buses. I know you're not doing that. You can't have buses on high purchase. Buy 2 or 3 this particular financial year, and then another financial year buy another one. But in now you are going on high purchase. The Speaker, again, it's something that's a loophole. Because then after that, what happens? When you fail to raise the money, and get the money is not just guaranteed, like we have not even received enough money for last financial year. We are now in the next financial year, and we have not received enough money. Now, whoever has given you money or given you a bus on high purchase, he may now pull out the bus. And then, of course, the name of the CDF becomes a problem, is tarnished. And therefore, my colleagues from Busia, I think that observation I'm saying, I think is not very good. But I think let's change the tax. Instead of doing what you are doing, do what is supposed to be done. And I want to support that report. And I hope and pray that changes and rectification be made so that it can be able to protect CDF. Because so many people, including governors and MCS, and even our sister senators who also want this to be moved from us. And you never know. And they find loopholes like this in the cost of the public. Again, we actually will find ourselves in a wrong way. I therefore support this committee, and I hope our brothers and sisters from Busia will be able to learn and be able to do benchmarking. Come to my place, you see what I've done. I want to come to Kwanza. Yes, and he's my colleague, so come to Kwanza. And I'll actually, yeah, you'll be all right. Thank you so much, and I support this report.
I really appreciate you, Honorable Speaker, and great grandson of Asumbi and Rangwe. And I rise to support this particular report of this committee. I appreciate the committee for considering audit reports of so many years so that they bring these matters to speed. And from the onset, Honorable Speaker, I want to say that it should be done at the earliest possible. Audit reports should be brought to the House at the earliest time possible, because ideally audit issues are not supposed to be punitive, Honorable Speaker.
Members left, we'll have another time to commiserate with them. Honorable Lillian Gogo, you may proceed.
Thank you, Honorable
I know
Speaker.
where the debate will be ended.
But we wish our colleague well, Honorable Speaker, and we appreciate when he makes an appearance in this August House. I was saying, Honorable Speaker, that audit matters and audit issues are generally not supposed to be punitive. And they are meant for identifying places where there should be improvement opportunities. They ensure, when audits are done, they ensure compliance and transparency. And also they mitigate risk and fraud. and they strengthen decision-making processes within systems of management, and they build stakeholder confidence, and they also promote operational efficiency. Honorable Speaker, when this audit are brought to the floor of the House 9 years later, they probably would miss on the intentions, the noble intentions of the auditing system. I also want to indicate, Honorable Speaker, that NGCDF was largely borrowed from Zambia. And my senior Geza, the Honorable Millie Odhiambo had indicated that there are times as Africans we should Africanize certain systems. CDF systems is also practiced in India as a jurisdiction. And there are many other jurisdictions that come to benchmark. They come to learn, they come to borrow from our processes, Honorable Speaker, to go and implement in their regions, which means that it is a good thing. People would not come to learn about the National Government Constituency Development Fund of Kenya as practiced in Kenya if they have not seen, or if they have not learned, or if they have not followed the benefits of this particular governance method. This is what I want to say about NGCDF, Honorable Speaker. How I plead with the Kenyan citizenry that we should constitutionalize NGCDF. Honorable Speaker, there was a delay in disbursement of the Rangwe Constituency Development Fund bursaries by the committee, and it was later on done sometimes in the last 2 weeks or so. Probably this was mainly because of delays in disbursement of funds from the board. But I can assure you, Honorable Speaker, when the CDFC committee was giving out these checks through the Director of Education, Rangwe Sub-County, and among other people who were in attendance were the DCC, from the communications that the teachers of local day schools gave is that that amount of money, the disbursement of the funds in form of by way of bursary, was a big plus to the various local day schools and boarding schools. Why? At times, capitations from the Ministry of Education delays. And as it were, and it is true, capitation has delayed. But this has generally been mitigated by the disbursement of monies by dint of bursary, which these various schools are going to use for the benefit of the learners and also for the benefit of running the schools by the heads of these schools. Honorable Speaker, if there is a particular fund that is audited many times, it is NGCDF. And this has come up because of the time, the length of time that CDF has existed, Honorable Speaker. I'm even shocked that some sub-counties, like where my brother, the Honorable Wanyonyi comes from, they are buying buses by hire purchase. I'm shocked. If that committee is buying by hire purchase, I am shocked. And I only wanted to give him information that this is a fund that goes to the lowest point, Honorable Speaker, of this country. To the lowest person. Right now, because of NGCDF, what I've seen my committee do, that in the constructions of schools, Honorable Speaker, in a local school called Bondo Primary School, I went there, I couldn't believe what NGCDF can do. We have classrooms that are built to modern standards, and they are tiled with modern boards, white boards, things that would have happened not if it were not for NGCDF. And I pray for your protection, Honorable Speaker. He refused that I shouldn't speak when he was speaking. Honorable Speaker, allow me to say this. I want to say this, Honorable Speaker.
You are not standing on a point of information. So what is out of order?
Mr. Speaker, I said we buy buses. I've never had any bus in my place on a hire.
And that is what the Honorable Gogo
I was
said.
trying to correct him, not me. I buy buses. I've never, please, let it be on record.
Are you buying buses or CDF buying buses?
CDF buy buses, and I do the overhaul.
The country, you don't buy buses.
Order, honorable members. Well, the audit report indicates that there is the possibility that some NGCDF programs are buying on hire purchase. And this is what I hear both Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi and Honorable Gogo to cancel against. So there is nothing out of order either way. Honorable Lilian Gogo, proceed.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. And it is good for us to give good practices where they exist. And I can stand on the floor of this House, Honorable Speaker, and indicate that in one parliamentary term, Rangwe constituency NGCDF committee is on record for purchasing, not on hire purchase or not on credit, delivering a vehicle, a logbook, and a key to 14 schools. And Suba North, Honorable Speaker, has done the same. I saw Suba North last week deliver 2 brand new schools, and what a school buses to schools. What a celebration. I've personally seen the Homa Bay town constituency do an excellent job with NGCDF through their committee. This is what I want to implore my people and the greater republic we love, the republic called Kenya. Let us see how we can shield this particular source of funds for the development of our various constituencies. The members of parliament strictly do oversight roles, like right now we are doing with the audit reports that have been generated from a raft of constituencies, Honorable Speaker. And I want to say that devolution is in no fight with national government. There is intergovernmental cooperation in various ways, including education. CDF is strictly or mainly rooted to cover education and security, which it has done very well. And I want to plead with our various stakeholders that as we do development in other places, other areas, social areas, let us ring fence CDF for purposes of involvement and infrastructural development for our education systems and also for our security systems. Honorable Speaker, without NGCDF, there is going to be so much hue and cry in the communities that benefit from this special fund. I thank you for the opportunity, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
The Honorable Agnes Pareyo, the MP for Narok North, will now speak. And honorable members, just to alert you, those ones of the honorable members who are walking out and those ones who are within the precincts, that the motion coming up next, in order number 10, is a very serious motion. It's a consideration of the third report on the employment diversity audit in public institutions, a very critical matter around